I've worked with dozens of companies and founders who, on the surface, it looks like they're doing all the right things. They're showing up on podcasts. They're consistently posting on LinkedIn. They might even be dabbling in YouTube. And yet, they feel like nothing is getting them traction. And on top of that, when we dig into what's actually broken, it's never what they think it is. So if you're a founder or an organization and you feel like you are on a hamster wheel and your visibility is waning, this video is for you, because we're going to talk about some of the trends that I'm seeing in communication, specifically with respect to thought leadership and how the game is changing for 2026. There are some new rules forming that I think make it more fun, more exciting, and frankly, easier to show up and create traction in the new year. So here's what I've learned after, 20 years in media and communication, is most founders think that growth is a marketing and visibility problem. If we just pour more people into the top of the funnel, the visibility funnel, then everything will start working. We're gonna get more of our ICP buying our things. And the last 5 years, I hate to break it to you, have changed that game. Yes, there was a time when you could do that. You could sell a $27 offer and break even on your ad spend, perhaps even make a little bit of money on that low ticket lead gen offer and fill your funnel and make 7 figures, easy peasy lemon squeezy. But that game has changed. Buyers are more wary, the market is saturated, the economy has shifted, and so too have the expectations of what it means to be a leader in any given space. I want to say like every space. So the $27 or, I'm going to say $27, but depends on what you sell. The relatively low ticket offer or the freebie or the lead magnet that filled your funnel in days past is no longer what is going to fill that funnel today. And it's for 2 reasons. Number one, the funnel itself has changed. We're now talking more about a flywheel in terms of content creation, a flywheel in terms of audience engagement and what I call invitation, and a flywheel for sales. That is also what has changed. It is no longer a pressurized funnel where you're just trying to figure out how to get somebody to do something. So that is what has caused this shift in communication. And over the next few videos, over the next month or so, I'm really going to be unpacking these changes to how we communicate and how that has been impacted by the shifts we're seeing in the funnel, from funnel to flywheel. But today I want to talk about the 3 C's of communication, because this is something you can activate right away, whether you have a funnel, whether you don't have a funnel or not. So what are the 3 C's? The 3 C's, very simple: clarity, credibility, consistency. And I promise you, if your visibility is not covered on all 3 of these counts, your visibility is weak. And you're probably thinking, oh yeah, I've heard this before, be super clear and be consistent, which used to mean show up the same day, same time, like same bat time, same bat channel all the time. But even the concept of consistency has now changed. So let's start with number 1, clarity. What does that mean and how do you diagnose if you have a problem? Well, clarity, to be clear, is does your audience fully understand what it is that you do and what you do for them? Not only that, but is it super obvious in all places where you can expect your audience to be without you knowing that they're there? So on your homepage, on your sales pages, on your LinkedIn bio, even on your YouTube description, what does this company or person do and how does that matter to me? If that is not abundantly clear, your clarity score is probably middling to low. I'm going to come back to why I talked about a score in just a second, but let's keep going through clarity for a minute. Clarity is it's easy to talk about, but it's not always easy to achieve because it's often confused with the act of dumbing down what you do. They'll say, explain it to me like I'm a kindergartner, but that's not actually what clarity is. Clarity is about sharpening. It's about specificity. It's about being hyper obvious and clear. And sometimes that actually means using more words. There was a while there where it was like, you should only, explain what you do in 5 words or less. And I know a lot of creatives and specific service providers found that advice to be not only extremely restrictive, but paralyzing, because when you serve a very specific thing, you're going to need more than 5 words to explain it, but you're going to explain it very, very well. So don't take this to mean also that you are reducing the number of words. You are just being very clear so that that one person that you serve can really, really understand, okay, this is exactly what they're doing. This is what the engagement looks like. This is how much it's going to cost. And this is what I can likely expect to have happen on the other side. Okay, that is clarity. Here's the other thing about clarity that I have noticed in particular with thought leaders who are very good at what they do is that you can be extremely brilliant at your craft and still be extremely unclear about what you do. All right, so the second C is credibility. And this is not about bragging. This is definitely not about selling your money. And what do I mean by that? That means going out there and talking about how much money you make. How much money you make does not make you credible. I hate to break it to you, but it really, really doesn't. It attracts a different kind of buyer if you're talking about how much money you make and how much money you're gonna make someone else. It's not a value exchange, it's a desperation exchange. And if that's what you do, cool. I mean, if you're like a stockbroker or you work in finance, then you have to talk about money or real estate or things like that. But like if you're a coach or a service provider, really try to examine how sharing what you are generating revenue-wise in your business actually adds to your credibility. Or is it just a band-aid solution for the fact that you can't find the right words to express your credibility? Credibility also comes through what I call depth of insight. So it's not just your resume, it's not just your client results, it's not just your social proof anymore. Those things are really important, but it's also over time, if someone were to engage with you, and this comes back to the flywheel concept, which we will unpack, I promise, on the channel. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment, drop a question below, and we'll unpack it all together. But it comes with what I call depth of insight, is that if somebody goes back, 6 weeks, 3 months on whatever channel they are engaging with you on, are they going to see over time a snowball compounding effect of your insights on whatever it is that you do, on your industry? Are they going to see someone with a credible point of view? So credibility used to be stack up all of your achievements and your accomplishments, stack up your media mentions, stack up your client testimonials, stack up, how much money you've made in some situations, how many things you've sold, how many markets you've served, all those things. And I'm not trying to say those things aren't important, but what is shifting for 2026 is that credibility has now become about having a clear point of view that you are confident expressing over and over again to the point where it entrenches you as an expert. So the third one is now going to be, I predict, the most misunderstood one, because the third is consistency. And there has been a long-standing belief that consistency is just show up every single day. Post, post, post. It doesn't matter what, you just need to show up and you need to serve the algorithm. And the shifts that are happening now is that you are the algorithm. We're starting to see that. So we're not getting up to consistently serve the algorithm. We are now, as leaders and communicators, getting up to consistently embody the energy of our leadership. Sometimes that's going to mean staying silent. Sometimes that's going to mean engaging in professional level, insightful conversation in comments. Sometimes that's going to mean better internal communication than external communication. Sometimes that's going to mean putting out a rapid fire solution for your audience that was not on your launch plan roadmap because you know that that is consistent with your audience's expectations of you. Being consistent has now changed to be more congruent with meeting the expectation of your audience in that moment with the energy they expect from you as a leader in your field. It is no longer about the calendar. It is no longer about hustle. It is no longer about just do it. It is about the energy that you are bringing consistently to your visibility. That is going to be a marked shift that you'll see in 2026. So this is your permission to pull back on posting. If one day you wake up and you're thinking, I don't want to post this, but I'm going to do it because I'm being consistent, No, no, no. As uncomfortable as it may feel, try not posting that thing when you're not fully in that energy. That is the new form of consistency. So I said I was going to come back to what that whole scoring thing meant. I'm working on a brand new diagnostic tool where, yes, we can sit down together and give you a score. How are you doing on these 3 C's of clarity, consistency, and credibility? I will audit all of your communications and you will get a scorecard. And along with that scorecard, it's like a diagnostic. It's going to show you exactly where you need to tighten, where your strengths are, where you need to lean in, and how, as a leader, a thought leader, an organization, you can start to push into this new, more easeful, more magnetic form of communication in 2026. So as of the filming of this video, I have 4 spots left for the year 2025 for these diagnostics if you want to hit the ground running in 2026. So if you want that, check the description box below. It's super simple to book in. You just make your payment, grab the calendar link, put 90 minutes of time on your calendar with you and me. I'll do a little bit of prep work on your brand. We'll get together. I'll ask you some questions. And then within a week, you're going to have your scorecard and you're going to have your roadmap. It really is that simple because this is how much I believe in this. Talk about being credible and shifting my offer stack. I wasn't planning on putting this out into the market this year, except for that I know that this is a need. Folks are floundering. They're out there being visible, but not feeling seen. And this diagnostic tool that I have developed is going to be one of the ways that you can start to pinpoint why that is happening and how you can fix it. So I would love to work with you and absolutely drop some questions or comments in the description box below, or just feel free to hit the link and book in some time and we'll go through it together. So in closing, here is my question for you today. Which of those 3 C's do you think is the weakest messaging point for you right now? How are you going to assess your own clarity, your own credibility, and your own consistency across your brand channels? Make this a priority. And as always, thank you for being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I am still on this crazy journey to show up on YouTube 3 times a week. And so far I've been pretty consistent. So keep cheering me on. I love seeing you subscribe. I love seeing you in the comments. I'm over on Instagram as well. And of course you can find me on LinkedIn at Erin Trafford is my profile. So you can connect with me there. I will see you in the next video or maybe on a clarity diagnostic.